Tariffs have added $20,000 in costs due to a 135% tax on U.S. soybeans and 170% duties on U.S. pork, pushing American agriculture to the brink. Once a cornerstone of the U.S. economy, agricultural exports like soybeans, corn, and pork have largely disappeared due to escalating trade tensions. China, once the largest buyer of U.S. soybeans, turned to Brazil due to a 135% tariff, locking in multi-year contracts. Similarly, U.S. pork has been shut out by 170% tariffs, with competitors like Europe and New Zealand stepping in. The impact of tariffs is deep, with farmers facing soaring input costs, lost markets, and financial strain. Dairy and crop producers are unable to compete, while rural economies suffer job losses and business closures. Farmers are also dealing with supply chain disruptions and higher equipment costs. The slow U.S. response to relief has allowed other countries like Brazil, New Zealand, and India to secure long-term contracts and advance globally. Meanwhile, stock prices are falling, with concerns about a potential recession. Production is shifting to Mexico to avoid tariffs, and the Midwest is facing job losses, higher costs, and economic decline. Manufacturing in New York and across the country is plummeting, signaling a wider economic downturn. As businesses and workers struggle, the U.S. economy faces a crisis, with farmers drowning in debt, unable to maintain profitable operations. Brazil's dominance in the soybean market further weakens U.S. exports, leaving farmers and industries in a precarious position. Tariffs and trade tensions have severely affected the competitiveness of American agricultural products, especially in key markets like China, leading to a growing agricultural crisis. Soybean prices have dropped from $14.35 to $10.12 per bushel, leaving farmers unable to cover costs, while products sit unsold in warehouses. The U.S. has lost significant global market share to competitors like Brazil and Russia, creating a shift in supply chains and undermining the U.S.'s influence in setting prices. The agricultural crisis is escalating. With soybean prices plummeting, farmers face financial collapse as warehouses fill up with unsold products. The U.S. is losing its global agricultural market share to Brazil and Russia, increasing their influence. Over 400 farmers have petitioned the White House to end tariffs and call for a complete overhaul of the agricultural system, highlighting the need for urgent change. The U.S. auto industry is also in crisis, with car prices soaring by $3,000 to $4,000, making new vehicles unaffordable for many families. This leads consumers to choose used cars or foreign brands. Over 3,800 Stellantis workers have been laid off, highlighting the wider economic impact. High tariffs and a shortage of parts are pushing up production costs and causing delays in popular models like the Jeep Compass and Ram 1500. The U.S. auto industry faces further challenges with a 25% tariff on vehicles from Mexico and Canada. GM is especially vulnerable as it relies on production in these countries. The company plans to increase U.S. production, but its factories lack the capacity to meet demand. Without government support, GM's position in the market is uncertain. China's 125% tariff on U.S. goods, including cars, has raised electric vehicle prices by $5,000 to $7,000, making them unaffordable for many consumers. The reduction of U.S. Treasury holdings by China is weakening the U.S. dollar, which could drive up inflation and increase costs for consumers. Supply chain disruptions are worsening, pushing car prices higher and delaying deliveries. Electric vehicle production is expected to drop by 6.2 million units, delaying the transition to clean energy. The economy is under strain, with the stock market losing over $500 billion and inflation making it harder for families to manage rising costs.